All right, guys, we had our chance. Alex Becker has been warning us for months that Ethereum was going to rip, and it's been crushing it, up 40% over the last 7 days. And of course, Alex Becker is out there flexing on us, squeezing us between his giant bicep and forearm right now, saying, I told you so. But he hasn't only just said that we should be buying Ethereum at its lows. He's also told us about the microcaps and just the altcoins that are hosted on the Ethereum blockchain that follow the trend of Ethereum, but with higher leverage, meaning we get the chance to 5x, 10x, 50x, 100x our investments just by riding that Ethereum trend. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down Alex Becker's exact Ethereum altcoin and microcap portfolio. We're going to go through his exact playbook on how to cash in on those 10, 15, 50, 100x plus gains that are going to happen in this super cycle. And we're going to be very lightly touching on, gently fondling a secret new token that Alex Becker hasn't spoken about yet, but has been added secretly, hence it's called the secret token, into his official token list. That's going to be at the end of the video, but if you're excited right now, hit that like button below for me and let's jump in. There's no time to miss out, otherwise ETH is going to be up another 10% before I even finish making this video. 39.98% in the last 7 days. This is what the graph looks like. Absolutely flat for a week and then boom, skyrockets. We zoom out even further. It's kind of crazy. It's been flat, up a little bit, flat again for 2 weeks, and now look at this massive gain. But it wasn't like there was someone out there on Twitter every single day telling us that this is a good buy. On April 7th, which, let's put this into perspective and give Becker all the credit he is due. April 7th is back here. What's that? The 11th is back here. It's at about $1,500. Alex Becker said, you're legit looking at clean 4x here on Ethereum, which means to $6,000. And then Swamic, classic. We don't have to go through this because there's a lot of people hating out there when the market was down. He says, oh, it's only going down. Vitalik's paying Becker off. Becker says, if you think you're going to regret buying ETH at $1,500 in the future, you're honestly beyond help, of which he did. He missed out on some 80% gains in less than 1 month. Alex Becker followed up on the 8th of April saying, I'd say if we go lower, buy more. But really, you should just be buying regardless. Look at this. It's his strong bullish conviction when ETH was literally at its low. Whether you get ETH at $1,100 or $1,500 isn't going to matter at $4,500 plus. Fast forward to April 24. So we want to put that in perspective. April 24 was, looks like just before it did rally up. Now, Becker does cause a lot of rallies. He wouldn't have caused this one because ETH is a little bit too much of a large cap for Becker to really be able to shift. But, you know, this was down at about $1,600, $1,700. Says, the people that run the world are buying Bitcoin and Ethereum in billion-dollar clips. They are also totally unregulated. They already got most to panic dump. He thinks that entire dump and sell-off that we had off was manipulated and manufactured by the elites. Now they are going to pump the crap out of this coin, the end. And he was right. However, fast forward a little bit further to April 20, we're going to start to see a price prediction on Ethereum from Alex Becker. He says that he thinks Bitcoin will get up to $150,000 and ETH will get up to $10,000, which at the low was a 6x, right now is a 4x return on your money. They will log in once it's at 10K and see that KOL who was yelling alt season, which was Alex Becker, every day now buying his third Bugatti. They'll feel deep pain. Don't lose your focus. Don't miss out on this monumental run. And again, Alex Becker confirms his 10K just yesterday at May 10th, saying ETH is going to $10,000. Have a good day. Now, is Alex Becker just sitting there on Twitter talking crap? Yes, but does he also have a ridiculous amount of money in this market? Yes. He says, not going to lie, the amount of money I have in crypto is degenerate, irresponsible, and overexposure, which we can appreciate the honesty. But being up 40% plus on a multi-8-figure portfolio in a day is making me too drunk to care, which is pretty crazy. I think he has about $30 million by our calculations in crypto, and he's up 40%. So he probably made about $10 to $15 million in just 1 day. That's US dollars as well. So he is flying high at the moment. So if you're not in and you're sidelined, and he's been telling you for 4 months to get in, he's going to be flexing on you right now. Now, this is the only time in this video that we're going to be touching on utility because, I mean, no one gives a crap about utility if we're going to be honest. However, he says, and he replies to this video here on Twitter, talking about AI agents and AI they're not going to be using Australian dollars, US dollars. They're not going to be using euros. They're not going to be using bank systems and waiting for them to open, and they can't trade on weekends. They need a 24/7 money that has smart contract ability, which is Ethereum. And Eric Connor says ETH is AI money. Alex Becker says this guy gets it, meaning his thesis is that AI is going to absolutely continue to exponentially explode. It's going to need payment rails and a payment system, and Ethereum is that system. And therefore, Ethereum will skyrocket to $10,000 and Becker will buy his third Bugatti. Alex Becker says, you realize we are starting to see ETH move up even without Bitcoin. The prophecy foretells this. This is now alt season, and Ethereum is now the blue chip that dictates how the market moves. That being said, if you don't understand this theory, you're going to be capped in your gains if Alex Becker is right. And that is the theory of the crypto whip. And this is Drew from Wealth Group saying, what does $4,500 ETH look like for your bags? Inferring that his portfolio of tokens on ETH with smaller market caps are going to be moving at way higher multiples than just Ethereum. Ethereum might get a 3x, but you come down to something like DSYNC, and we're going to be going through these tokens in just a second. I just want to make sure you understand the theory behind this playbook before we jump into the actual tokens. A 3x on ETH from 1,500 to 4,500 will have looked like something like a 10x on DSYNC because it's further down the crypto whip. Higher volatility. When ETH drops, something like DSYNC drops even further. But when ETH goes up, all those other altcoins and microcaps go absolutely flying, break the sound barrier, break our bank accounts, and again, give us those third Bugattis. And that was evident if we go off chain for a second. You can see on Solana, if we go the last 7 days on Solana is up 20%, a nice rally. Nothing like ETH's 40%, but it is pumping. Now, one of the top meme coins and a token that I really like on Solana is SPX 6900. I've been talking about this forever. If you look at my channel, it's just becoming a SPX 6900 meme fest. In the last 7 days, it was at 52 cents. It's now at 80 cents. It's about 60% up, which is 3x of Solana's multiple because it's further down the crypto whip and has a smaller market cap. Now, if you do like those meme coins like me, Alex Becker literally this morning, put out a message to us. And this is basically what made me make this video. He says, dear meme coiners, I 100% believe memes are here to stay and there will be some of the nuttiest high risk X's, multiples of 100x, 200x returns, which I strongly believe they will. With ETH running right now, I beg of you, stay in memes, but get some exposure to AI tokens, real world assets, and proper alts on the Ethereum blockchain. ETH running makes the X's here easy money. Don't sideline yourself. So if you are not exposed to Ethereum, Alex Becker is saying, let's start getting exposed now while the ETH bull market is in its infancy. All right, so let's jump into 7 tokens that Alex Becker is extremely bullish on that are all on ETH and all have way smaller market caps. This is basically bigger market caps down to the smallest market caps at the end. Starting with Hash AI. So lowkey.eth says Becker knows Hash AI is going to rocket as ETH is moving higher. The theory we just went through together. They're the most transparent team. They're self-sustainable. Big revenue back to holders every month. GPU and facility infrastructure worth millions. Still an easy 10x to all-time high. 10x is a solid return, and that's just to get back to all-time high. If this is the super cycle, people like Becker theorize it's going to go way higher. And Alex Becker says, yes, I do, and I know everything. So that is going to rocket as ETH is moving higher. He knows that it is going to rocket. And he put in his YouTube video that came out today as well. You can see it's at a $55 million market cap. So I guess these tokens aren't really in the order that I said they were because there's some bigger market caps here. It's had an absolutely monstrous month at 222%. And guys, this is why you're watching this video. This is why I spend a lot of time tracking influencers like Alex Becker. Have a look at what happens when the bull market is here and Alex Becker mentions a token. It absolutely flies. That's what all these massive candles up. You can't track that with technical analysis. You can't track that with fundamental analysis. The Hash AI fundamentals are still the exact same. If you're not following us in this bull market and you're not using social arbitrage to see which tokens are going to fly and when, you're just at a massive disadvantage. You won't be able to see the cause of any of these candles or even be able to find out which tokens are going to pump based on which influencers are pumping them. So make sure you subscribe to Across the Rubicon because that's literally all we do. We track the biggest influencers in the world and we bring you their portfolios, we track their wallets, and we show you what they're getting into before everybody in the world knows about it. The second token, which Alex Becker is hyper bullish on, is called ZIG. He says ZIG is just going to keep doing this all the way to being a top market cap crypto. A top market cap crypto That's hundreds of billions. I don't know if he's talking about hundreds of billions in general, maybe just one of the top altcoins on Ethereum, which could be something closer to 5 to 10 billion. And he says the bull hasn't even started. This was April 29th, so just 2 weeks ago. Now, coming over to ZK chain, you can see it's got a 200 million fully diluted market cap. Zooming out 7 days, we can see we're up 21% and a massive pump up right here. Guys, what do you think that pump up possibly could? Of course, Alex Becker has mentioned them and they pump. But this is at a 202 mil market cap, so one of the higher ones. But if Alex Becker is predicting it could be one of the top altcoins, it's got a long way to go still. And then on to one of my favorite tokens of Alex Becker's recommendations, and one that I've made a lot of money on in the past, one that I can depend on pumping as soon as Alex Becker is back and the market is bullish. That is ZKML. And Mozco on Twitter says ZKML is up 50% on the daily candle. So is ZYNC. I don't know what ZYNC is, to be honest, so let's just ignore that. And both of them will put up a minimum of 10x from here. It's still not too late because we're not at that point yet because the market's only just started pumping, but a lot of people are going to start thinking, oh, did I miss it? Alex Becker says ZK is insanely undervalued. So his answer to that question is no. And that's 19 hours ago. He tweeted that out. You can see it's obviously pumped from a mention like that from Alex Becker. You can see it's been ramping up from 10 cents up a 2.6x up to 26 cents. But you can see the fully diluted value is only $27 million still. On to the next token that Becker is extremely bullish on. And CryptoZack LA has mentioned this on Twitter a lot. CryptoZack LA has been early to some crazy trades as well, because we don't just track Becker on this channel and Inside Our Inner Circle. We also track people who are sometimes earlier than Becker into these tokens. And CryptoZack LA was way earlier than Becker into Pinlink, although Becker was still really early, and so was I. I actually made 6 figures on Pinlink, which was a really fun time for me. But CryptoZack LA, I don't know what he made, but he was in way earlier than I was. He says, Pin has been consolidating and being accumulated for nearly 100 days. You can see after this massive run-up, it's pulled right back, had that nice 90% cool off that a lot of these altcoins did. Because remember, they're further down the crypto whip, they're more volatile in the bear market, more upside in a bull market. So if you want to make those gains back responsibly, with only a small amount of your money that doesn't affect your lifestyle, bet further down the crypto whip. He says, when this finally breaks up, it's going to be violent. Soon, much higher. Of which, Alex Becker replied, much higher. This is a top real world asset. And if we come across to Pinlink, it has also started pumping based on Alex Becker and the bull market being back. That is the perfect storm, the two ingredients. If you could have 100 out of 100 market sentiment where everyone is hyper bullish, and Alex Becker to make a direct tweet to a small microcap token, I can't think of an easier way to make money in 2025 than that. But you can see it's currently sitting at $100 million market cap. If we zoom out and put this in perspective, it looks a lot smaller, but if you put $1 million in at the lows and it doubles, you still make $1 million. That's what I was really trying to harp on the last month, although it's way less sexy because everyone else is losing money and no one's there to celebrate with you. It's a lonely win, but it is still a win. On to the next one. I mean, I haven't actually mentioned DSYNC in this video, but it is a token that Alex Becker is extremely bullish on. However, why I'm on this tweet is because he says DSYNC is the chosen child of AI crypto, a bit of a higher market cap, but still a key token, and one that Crypto God John and the Wealth Group boys are hyper bullish on as well. Tyrone says, no, it's actually Palm AI is the chosen child. Alex Becker says, Palm is the silver second son. Still S+ tier, hold both. Now this is back in November, but of course Alex Becker still holds Palm AI and is hyper bullish on it. You can see it has a lower market cap too of $36 million, which is going to look quite low if this thing returns to all-time highs, which was at $140 million or beyond that. And you can see it has had a nice pump up. I wonder what's catalyzed this recent stick right here. It's Alex Becker, including in his YouTube video, of course. Now onto one that wasn't around since I've spoken to you last about Alex Becker's portfolio. And once again, Drew from Wealth Group says, Spectre AI. After meeting with Sunny, the founder, at lunch and some of the community and really diving deeper into the vision of Spectre AI, I firmly believe this is going to be a blue chip staple of an AI token on ETH. Alex Becker responds, probably one of the most explosive low caps in AI right now. Things gonna happen. Now, just a quick side note, guys, and it doesn't really matter, but I just want you to be aware. Maybe I'll do a full video on to make you more aware on how these things work. these are brand deals and these are paid promotions. Alex Becker has a percentage of the tokens that he talks about that he gets from the founders. And so you may think that Alex Becker's out there looking for the best projects, which he probably is as well. Let's give him credit there. However, tokens reach out, they say what they're doing, and they tell Alex Becker they'll give him 1% of token supply in order to be an advisor. And he gets 1% of the token supply, which is sometimes $1 million in one hit. And then Alex Becker will be replying to tweets on Twitter. Do we care? No. These things pump the same, if not more, than if he wasn't affiliated to him, because Alex Becker owes them the shoutouts, and people are basically just trying to arbitrage and trade Alex Becker's influence. That's what we're here for. That's what's made us a lot of money in the past. Now, Spectre is one of the new partnerships from Alex Becker, and if we zoom out a month, you can see it's had a couple of nice pumps based on that fact, from $1.50 all the way up to $3.60 in the last month. I'm also in this video, and I don't even know if I want to do this anymore on this channel. I used to break down what tokens do, what their utility is, what's in their smart contract, how many developers they have, who's on their team. The more I play crypto and the more, and this is why I'm becoming more of a meme coin guy than anything, the more I'm realizing that it's 100% narrative trades and fundamentals matter close to none. What matters more is the narrative around fundamentals. So people are like, do they have good fundamentals? Oh yeah, great fundamentals. That's all you need. You don't actually need good fundamentals. But I mean, we don't want to get too sidetracked in that at the moment. But in this video, I'm not going to go through the fundamentals. Very easy to investigate yourself. If you just click on website, click on their Twitter, read their bio, throw it in ChatGPT, say, what does this company do? If you want to look into it yourself before you put any money in, fair enough. But Spectre is at a 35 mil market cap, and it is a fully diluted token. Now, onto one that is actually the smallest market cap, and obviously has been a brand deal and partnership. And I'm just going to pull back the curtain here again for you. What you want to figure out, because you know Alex Becker is getting deals from these tokens, and he wants all the tokens to pump. He wants the mainstream to come and buy the tokens off him, dump, which he's said 100 times on Twitter, buy his third Bugatti, and live a crazy life of a billionaire, which, cool plan. I like the idea. But he wants the euphoria of the bull market to be his exit liquidity. And so he's just taking on percentages of all these tokens, hoping most of them rise and he can exit at all-time highs. However, what you want to really try and figure out is which of these tokens does Alex Becker hold the most of? Because they're the ones he's going to be promoting the most. If he holds $100 of Torque, but $1 million of hash, he's going to be promoting hash way more than Torque. So we actually go into the deployers' wallets on these tokens, and we can see how much money they're actually sending to Alex Becker, and therefore how much he's likely to be promoting them. And he may owe someone 10 shoutouts, he may owe someone no shoutouts, but it's sort of be a behind the curtain handshake deal of like, oh yeah, I'll make sure I include you in my portfolios. And you want to know which ones he's most bullish on and the ones he can get his money out with exit liquidity. However, the ones that he might have smaller amounts on, something like Cryptalk, and he included this in the video, which it looks like I made this in Photoshop or something, but this is from one of his YouTube videos. I've copied it out of our Inner Circle chats, which is why I've only got the photo up here. He talks about Cryptalk, which currently is sitting at a $4 million market cap. Alex Becker pumped it up to a $22 million market cap back in early March, or late March, should I say, early April. And it's obviously followed the market down, but it's having a little bit of resurgence, and Alex Becker hasn't mentioned it yet. What I'll say on that is, does that mean it's going to absolutely pump? No. What I'll say is, if you think he's going to mention it again, if you think he owes them another shout out, yes, it will absolutely pump, especially in this sentiment. You could probably predict it would reach that $20 million market cap again and get you a 5x on your money. However, the game is, do you think he's going to be promoting it again? Now, before I show you his even newer secreted token that got added to his official list, if you do want to get into these tokens before you see them here on YouTube, before you see them on Alex Becker's YouTube, we track people like Alex Becker, Crypto God John, Miles Deutscher, even people like Crypto Zach LA, who, like I said, this is actually the Pinlink graph here. This is the one where I hit 6 figures on Pinlink because I followed Alex Becker in. Then we reverse engineered who even beat us in, and then found these absolute G's who got in even earlier. We track their wallets. We actually have 27 Alex Becker wallets that we are currently tracking $7 million of on-chain alts, even showing you exactly how much he owns of each of these alts. We track their portfolios and the size of their portfolios, and we track social alerts. So when Alex Becker makes replies or tweets out new tokens, you get a push notification inside of your Telegram app in our inner circle, and it leads to massive return. A 12x on Pinlink, when most people, like Alex Becker didn't talk about it on his YouTube video, to way up here, which is closer to a 4x. And by tracking these people, we get excellent entries into these late runners. And I've used this example a couple of times, but this is where I've made most of my money. This is what Pinlink was. What happens is the market gets confirmed. We're in a bullish market. Great. Then the niche gets confirmed. Oh, and this is gaming. So Axie Infinity was a blue chip of gaming. Gaming is the new thing. Fantastic. However, by the time it's confirmed, probably 50 to 60% of its gains have been realized. And if you're here, you're like, okay, I can get a 2x on Axie, or I can wait until the next hot game comes around, which was Altura. Alex Becker mentions Altura, which is down here, and you get, if I can zoom out here, like this is 1,000% return, but that's from real all-time lows. But you can get 100x returns. That's why in these thumbnails it says 100x returns. They're not lies. These things that literally have been happening in every single cycle. And so if you're interested in getting access to this whale tracker and tracking the people who have influence in the market, all their portfolios, all their wallets that are on chain, their social media, and now what we're adding is community submissions, where we can all as a community submit our own tokens, see which ones perform well, give us all ratings, and therefore the next time someone who has predicted really good tokens 3 times in a row, you can get an alert when they submit a new token, all going into the new Rubicon whale tracker, which we are launching this week. So if that excites you, we'd love to have you in. The link is in the description below. Right now, guys, the market is getting confirmed. The late runners are going to be coming. So if you've been thinking of joining, if you were joined but sort of took a couple months off while the market cooled down, we'd love to see you back in there. Link in the description below. If you're familiar with Alex Becker's Twitter, you'll see this sheet that he posts in his bio here. It's Bitly. Now, Bitly's actually started to implement ads in their links, which is pretty crazy. But if you continue to destination, you'll be pulling up his current investment and advisory list. These are all the tokens that I explained what happened to these tokens. He got percentages for. You can read this one page of waffle saying he's not liable if you buy into these things. He's also not an expert, of which both things are true. So make sure you're gambling at your own risk. And then he has a list of tokens. Now, this list isn't that helpful because there's a lot of older sort of games from the last cycle, something like D-Race, which isn't even called D-Race anymore. But if you know what you're looking at and you have a seasoned eye like I do, you can see which ones are the new tokens, some of the ones that I've been including in this video. He also put some memes down here for the first time. Pengu, Shiraniko, and Farcoin are his 3, but he says I would take my picks here lightly. I would take all these picks lightly and across every category, but know that if you know what you're doing and you know how to get in early, you can make a lot of money on them. Why we're in here is because there's a few changes being made. One of them, however, is the most interesting change for me, and that is seeing this token down here. And this is inside of gaming. Inside of gaming, he mentions a token called Black Hole. And I don't have the exact date that he edited this sheet. Maybe if someone knows how to look at when the sheet was last edited, you could find out. But Black Hole has been a recent addition, and there's not much about it online. So I'm going to continue to research it. If you guys know what Black Hole is, let us know in the comments below. We're going to be looking inside our inner circle for it as well. And once we find it, we will let you know. So if you are not subscribed, hit that button now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.